Uh, Dear students, we were discussing about Drugs and Cosmetic Act since last class. Last class we were studied about what is the objective of the act, on what basis this is implemented, and what are the various glossaries given under this act for the definition of drug definition of cosmetics, misbranded drugs, adulterated drugs, spurious drugs, how they were defined under this act. So legally, how they were defined, and what is manufacturing of medicine, what is proprietary medicine, all we discussed. And this act is giving power to various officials, and that powers can be classified like this: advisory role, analytical role, executive role. So those officials comes under this category, or also we started to discuss in the last class. Advisory role by DTAB, we elaborately seen, and that is Drug Technical Advisory Board, and Drug Consultative Committee. They are also advising to the central government. Like that, analytical role is done by Central Drugs Laboratory (CDL) and Drugs Control Laboratory in states also. And government analysts are the officials, those who are working under the Central Drugs Laboratory, and they are collecting the samples sent by the drug inspectors from their visits, and they analyze and give the report. They'll give a copy of the report to the government time to time. So their reports are official. That is on the basis only government policies will be taken. So that is about analytical role. We are going to continue from there. So government analyst or comes under analytical role. These officers are appointed by the central or state government and perform their duties. So central government appointed government analyst also there. State government appointed government analyst also working in the states. Qualification to become a government analyst is the person having qualification for appointment as government analyst is allopathic. They should have a knowledge qualification in allopathic medicines, degree in medicine, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani system, and not less than 3 years postgraduate experience in the analysis of drugs in a laboratory under control of a government. So those people will be selected and appointed by the government as a government analyst. Their duty is the government analyst shall cause to be analyzed or tested such samples or drugs and cosmetics as may be sent by him by the drug inspectors. A government analyst shall from time to time forward reports to the government giving the results of analytical work and research with a view to their publication. Licensing authority is another executive category officials comes under appointed as per Drugs and Cosmetic Act. Licensing authority, they are under the Drug Control General of India office. They are functioning drug controllers. These licensing authorities are issuing licenses for manufacturing of medicine, import of medicine, sale of medicine, and also labeling, packing. Also we need a medicine, we need of medicine also we need a license. So these licensing authorities are how they are appointed, how they are working, we'll see. Graduate in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or in medicine with a specialization in clinical pharmacology or microbiology from a university established in India by law. So those who studied in India, those who got graduated in India in pharmacy or in microbiology or in pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmacology. So those people are eligible to appoint as a drug controllers. They are the licensing authorities. And experience in the manufacture or testing of drugs, a minimum period of 5 years they should have experience in this, provided that the requirements as to the adequate qualification shall not apply to those inspectors. uh, the, the requirement for drug inspectors are different, and as per the academic qualifications required to be and drug inspectors, they are all eligible to be as licensing authorities also. they will be promoted. Duties of licensing authorities are to inspect all establishments licensed for the sale of drugs within the area assigned to them. That we should know that they one area will be defined to them. Within that area, their powers will be applicable. So they can inspect those premises and to satisfy himself or herself that the conditions of the license are being observed. They may issue licenses and they will verify that all the conditions are followed or not. So for that purpose, they may undergo visits, that is called inspections, to procure and send for test or analysis if necessary imported packages. So from the ports, if imported medicines packages are received before allowing them to market in India, they collect samples from there and they send it for analysis to the Central Drug Laboratory, and they will wait for the report. After that, they may take necessary actions to investigate any complaint related to sales licenses, import licenses, or manufacturing licenses. All will be attended by this licensing authority. To maintain a record for all inspections made and action taken by him in the performance of his duties. So they have to maintain a record of all the inspections done. Otherwise, they are all considered as unofficial. To make such enquiries and inspections as may be necessary to detect the sale of drug in contravention to the act. So all inspections to be sent with prior notice, or they can make any time they can enter into any premises and they can inspect and make a note in a register also what time it is registered, this inspection is done, what are the things found, whether it is satisfactory not satisfactory. uh, Drug controlling authority. So they are called drug controllers, state drug controllers, central drug controllers. Graduate in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or in medicine with specialization in clinical pharmacology, microbiology from a university established in India by law. The same qualification also for licensing authority, because uh, in same office they are functioning. The same people will be promoted to this category also. Experience in the manufacture or testing of drugs or enforcement of the provisions of the act for a minimum period of 5 years. So their official duty duration is 5 years. So once they will be replaced. So they have to enforce the act when they are in their region where they are working. Drug inspectors, also executive job comes under this Drugs and Cosmetic Act. Qualifications are persons having qualification for appointment as government analyst for allopathic drugs. So those same qualification applicable to government analyst, same is applicable for drug inspectors also. Having a degree in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani system of medicine, and not less than 3 years postgraduate experience in the analysis of drugs in the laboratory under control of a government analyst, a chemical examiner, head of an institution especially approved for this purpose. So those who have such experiences, prior experience as government analyst, prior experience as chemical examiner, experience as a head of the institution where the drug related approval related process is taking place. Such experience will be considered for appointment of drug inspectors. Their powers are they can inspect any premises wherein any drug or cosmetic is being manufactured. So they have power to enter into any premises where the licensed process of manufacturing is taking place. So if anybody is restricting their duty, restricting their entry, that is a punishable offense. Any premises where in any drug or cosmetic is being sold or stocked or exhibited or offered for sale or distributed, all in that they have access to visit, collect samples if they got any suspected informations. take samples of any drug or cosmetics is another power, that is which is being manufactured or being sold, is stocked or exhibited or offered for sale or is being distributed. So any kind of activity in the from that they may collect samples, they will send it to analysis whether what they will find, ultimately they will find whether it is adulterated, misbranded or spurious or as per the standard. Only four category. That is why the glossaries were given in this Drugs and Cosmetic Act. From any person who is in the course of conveying, delivering, or preparing to deliver such drugs or cosmetics to a purchaser or a consignee, from there they have rights to collect samples and send it for analysis. Provisions of the Act. This Drugs and Cosmetic Act provide provisions to issue license and monitor the activities of importing medicines from abroad, and the same way manufacturing of medicines in India, sale of medicine in India, and labeling and packaging of medicines in India. So like that, the activities related to drugs and cosmetics were divided into four major categories: import, manufacture, sale, labeling. For that, various provisions were made and practiced, and accordingly officials were powered to monitor that. Schedules under the Act. So before entering into these sections, import, manufacture, sale, labeling, we have to know very thoroughly about the various schedules under this Act. If you know the various schedules, Schedule A, B, C, C1, what is that? If you know, accordingly, the rules and regulations defined by the Act also differs. So for Schedule C, C1, they'll have one rules and regulation to get license or manufacture. The same way for Schedule X drugs, they will show a different rule for getting license for manufacture. So we should know what it is exactly, the C, C1 category, and what is X, what is H, like that. So we go deep into this. We may get 2 marks question also from this category. Schedules to the rule. In Schedule A, I told you to remember the Schedule A one simple way. That is, A means application forms. You keep in memory. A denotes application forms. So Schedule A means in this various proformas will be given to apply for license of various category for for importing, for manufacturing, for selling, for labeling and packaging. We need licenses. So all these license formats, legal formats, are available in this category. So if you want to open a pharmacy, any retail shop or wholesale business, there is a special form in which in this only form 20, form 21C, like that special forms are there. That is all under this Drugs and Cosmetic Act Schedule A. So in that specific form only we should apply. For example, if you are trying to apply for an importing license, then one specific form will be given in this. Only in that form it should be applied. Then Schedule B means rates of fee for test or analysis by central drug laboratory or government analyst. In the central drug laboratory, the samples sent by drug inspectors will be analyzed. For that, there is no fee. But you are a manufacturer, you want to get certified by the central drugs laboratory, you will send a sample, and for that, a prescribed fee you have to pay. So that fee is how much you have to pay. That is all mentioned in this Schedule B. So that will be revised time to time. So we should keep in touch with this officials to monitor that. So all fee related informations are centralized by giving in under section Schedule B. Then C, the C and C1, always many places we may come across these terms. What is this Schedule C? List of biological and special products. They are all injectable parenteral products applied to special provisions. They are all comes under this category C. Schedule C includes biological products and injectable products. Schedule C1 is list of biological and special products They are non-parenteral, but they are non-parenteral biological products, blood products, uh, uh, but they are not administered through parenteral route. Blood products are administered through parenteral route. We will see elaborately what is this C1 contains. So biological products, but non-parenteral products. D. Schedule D, list of drugs that are exempted from provision of import. There is no permission for importing. That list of medicines or comes under Schedule D. Schedule E1, list of poisonous substances under the Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani system. Previously, there were no control for these systems. Now, they were brought under the umbrella of Drugs and Cosmetic Act. So, in among them, we are using many heavy metal uh, formulations also. So, those materials are found and identified that poisonous, toxic. So those materials should not be practiced in India. That is the meaning of this. That will be a time to time revised. Schedule F, provisions applicable to blood bank. What are the facilities to be maintained, how the licenses to be renewed, how the personals to be employed, like that, storage conditions to be made, all informations will be given under Schedule F. Schedule F1 includes special provision applicable to biological and special products, bacterial and viral vaccines, sera from living animals, bacterial or origin diagnostic agents. So, why vaccines and bacteriological products, biological products, uh, they are containing sera of living animals. Such products are comes under Schedule F1. So their regulations, their licensing and related information, manufacturing, production, distribution, all are controlled by Schedule F1. Schedule F2, standards for surgical dressing. That is all surgical dressings, or we have many different category of surgical dressings used, absorbable, non-absorbable, sterilized products. They are used during surgery. These materials need special attention, special care, special approval processes also. So standards for approval of surgical dressings, all packing conditions, maintaining storage conditions, all will be listed under F2. Schedule F3 contains standards for umbilical tapes. Umbilical tapes are sterile products, so for them special guidelines and standards are necessary. So they are separately listed under Schedule F3. Like that, Schedule FF, standards for ophthalmic preparations. Previously, all under Schedule F. Now, precisely, we were fixed different standards for them. So, accordingly, we kept under different schedules. Schedule FF is particularly for ophthalmic products, even though they are sterile products. They are separately categorized. Schedule G products are list of substances required to be used under medical supervision and labeled accordingly. So, a special care necessary, and it should be used under medical supervision only. It should not be dispensed to common patients, common public. Should be practiced only by medical supervision only. Like that, it will be properly labeled accordingly and circulated. Such substances are Schedule G. Schedule H, list of substances that are called prescription drugs that should be sold by retail only on prescription of registered medical practitioner only. So without prescriptions, we should not issue such drugs. Schedule H. We see elaborately later what they are. Schedule J means list of diseases and ailments that drugs should not claim to cure. So there is no treatment for disease. There is no permanent cure. We can maintain the symptomatically. Uh, that is only possible. So nobody should claim that there is a treatment. I found a medicine for this. Like that, diseases were identified and listed under Schedule J. List of drugs that are exempted from certain provisions regarding manufacture. Schedule K. Schedule K includes exempted from certain provisions regarding manufacture. So medicines should not be manufactured. Schedule M. Requirement for manufacturing premises. M. You remember manufacturing M, denoted by the letter M. So GMP requirements for in a manufacturing pharma industry. What are the good manufacturing practices to be adopted? What are the standards accordingly? How it should be certified? That requirements are listed under Schedule M. Schedule M1 is requirement for a factory premises for manufacture of homeopathic medicines. So special schedule is M for homeopathic medicines or M1. And requirements of factory premises for manufacture of cosmetics. If you are manufacturing a cosmetic preparation, what are the necessary infrastructure you have to maintain in your factory? It is given under M2. M3 requirements of factory premises for manufacture of medical devices. Like that, N list of equipments to run a pharmacy. In a pharmacy, we need a cold storage unit, we need a balance, we need some lock and key cupboards, then prescription registering, that computers, electronic way of decoding medicines. So all facilities we need to have. So that are listed under Schedule N. Schedule O, standards for disinfectant fluids. Schedule P, life period of medicines, their expiry dates. And Schedule Q, coal tar color permitted to be used in cosmetics. So colors derived from coal tar, petroleum products. So how for their standards, what limits, which are the products may be used with that, the standards. Schedule R, standards for mechanical contraceptives. Schedule R1, standards for medical devices. Schedule S, standards for cosmetics, especially. Schedule T, requirements of factory premises for Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani medicines. Schedule M is for allopathic. Schedule T is for other system of medicines. Schedule U, manufacturing and analytical records of drugs. So how the manufactured drug should be documented and recorded, how long it should be preserved, that information. Schedule U and manufacturing analytical records of cosmetics. Schedule V, standards for patent or proprietary medicines. Schedule W, list of drugs marketed under generic names omitted. That means they are not in use, they are omitted. Their generic names are listed under this. Schedule X is list of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. It is very important. And Schedule Y also very important. Requirements and guidelines of clinical trials for import and manufacture of new drugs. So any new research you are doing, you have to get approval as per the regulations given under Schedule Y only. So these are the various schedules. We have to remember everything, and then we enter into in the deep discussion of each schedule. What is Schedule C, C1, Schedule H, X1? What are the important things we'll discuss here in the next class. Now it is time up. Thanks for joining. We will discuss the continuations in the next class.